Hello my lovelies, welcome to this week's midweek wrap up. I don't know if you've noticed, but things have changed a tiny little bit, and that is I've rearranged the position of my camera. So I'm hoping that you guys will actually get a little bit of a better or wider view of things. Things were getting a little bit cut off. I felt like the camera was just a little bit too close and things like that. So especially for these type of tickle tutorial videos, you'll actually get a much broader view of everything that's going on here. Today I wanted to do something special. I had a lot of questions with what do you wear when you have a simchah or a celebration or somewhere fancy to go? And I kind of went, well, my tichels, it's not a problem. But I think that for a lot of people, the idea is that tichels are very casual, or they can be, and they most certainly can be. You can definitely have just a t-shirt, scarf and be done with that, and it can be very kind of easy peasy and run away, but they can also be really dressy and really fancy. And the same thing goes for any kind of material, item of clothing or accessory. For example, something like this, you could just wear something exactly the same colors and patterns in a really beautiful cloth. This has got a really nice shimmer to it. Pair it up with a beautiful pencil skirt, and there you are, there is a really lovely outfit. Or you could wear this with denim, and there you are, there's a very casual outfit. It just depends on what you pair it with, and that's going to be the main focus of, I guess, where I'm going to go with today's tutorial. But I also want to talk to you a little bit about colors, not just fabrics, but colors and also textures. So we've mentioned that we want to match things. Now, intentionally want something pretty neutral. I mean, there's not much that doesn't match something like this. It's pretty easy going. So I'm going to start with the one I'm wearing. Let's look at how to make things a little bit more complex or a bit more fancy with doing, say, a two look or a duochrome. So this is an off-white silk scarf. Silk is that example of a fabric that can be really dressy. So, and it gives a beautiful shimmer because of the just natural texture. There's no metallics put through. This is 100% pure silk, and it wraps really easily. Underneath, I've got a gorgeous, just plain Jane t-shirt scarf. So just a jersey material, very thin scarf, very comfortable. And I've been able to just use it as a point of contrast. So it doesn't matter that I'm wearing a very casual fabric. The fact that it's paired up with this gorgeous one, it makes it really dressy. The other thing I've done is I've got a little pin in there, a little elephant. And you can also use dressmaker's pins, which are really cute. Let me see if I can find it. Like this. You can also get these with little gemstone tips. You can get larger heads that have several gemstones. Just look on eBay or a haberdashery shop will have things like this in abundance. In fact, for my wedding, I made the bouquets myself for my bridesmaids, and they all had a beautiful clear glass gemstone pins holding the bouquet together, and you can easily use that in your tichels to dress them up. So I'll just quickly show you how I did this one. I've basically done a very simple start, which is just kissing and crossing them over, but I've got about 2/3 here and only 1/3 here. It's very important for this look that they are uneven, because you want the tails to end up coming together, not in the top right in the middle, but somewhere on the side. Okay, so just tying it off. I've only got a non-slip headband underneath. There's no shapers or anything, and my hair's in a very loose kind of bun tail thing. Nothing special, and it doesn't really matter. You don't need any hair for this look at all. So if your hair's very short or not there at all, that won't matter. I'm just adjusting it where I want it to sit across my face. So I like to do a bit more of a long look through the front. I believe it's slimming. I might be wrong. And you've got these two tails here, and they just sort of sit at the top of the non-slip headband. With the silk scarf, you want to do the basically same thing, but you want it to start way further back. So I've got the folded end, not the flat end, folded end here. Okay, and I'm doing the exact same thing, so that the flat edges or the open edges are actually coming up, and they're going to cover that knot a little bit. So don't worry if that's what's happening. So as they come up, you just need to adjust things because you're no longer using a non-slip headband. You're doing material on material. Just going to do a little bit more uneven. There we go. And crisscross, and just sit it wherever you want. And then just gather everything to flatten and tying it off. Okay, just make sure everything's sitting well. So I've ended up with this long one and this long one there on opposite ends. It does not matter because we've knotted them. So when you knot them, you can change things midway. That's the beauty of knots. So I'm actually going to bring them all to the middle now at the back. I'm going to find the two longer pieces. Where are you? One piece. I might go to the left with them. And I'm going to twist. Now I didn't do it too tight, but also not so loose that everything's kind of falling apart. And I tried to make them fairly evenly spaced. So we're going to bring that all the way up just here, and there should be a little loop in there somewhere. Okay, so I found my little hole there, a little loop. I'm just tucking it away on the side there. And that's the benefit of doing it a little bit uneven in length, because then I don't tuck it away right here in the middle. It can hide somewhere off to the side. I'm then going to twist the other two. You don't need much, it's just to cover up a little bit of bits and pieces that are here, and then we're going to hide them too. Okay, so there we go. And where that little conjunction is, it's fine the way it is, or if you wanted to make it a bit more fancy, which you kind of do when you're going out, just pop something pretty like a flower or a pin. I'm not going to do it properly again, but you can put something shiny there. You can decorate it with little dress pins as well. You can put colourful dress pins if you're wearing a third colour in your outfit, so forth and so on. One of my tricks lately is, instead of putting the shaper on top like this, or at the back completely, I kind of just hang it off the top of the bun. So I've got a high bun there, and the shape is kind of acting like a bit of a donut, going more back than what it is up. So you get a little bit of the height, but mostly have flat space on the front. Now with this scarf here, I'm going to lay it down pretty evenly. A little bit of stretch to it, but the reason I chose this scarf is because of the beautiful pattern. It's got a gorgeous metallic through it, gorgeous duochrome, so it's pretty within itself without adding anything to it. So I feel like this is just nice enough to be an evening scarf in of itself. It's also beautifully dark, and I find that a lot of the time when I go out I do wear darker colours. I'm not sure why that happens. Either that or crazy bright. So either way, having a dark tichel kind of works. Now this is not the longest in the world, so I'm going to try and get it to cover the shaper, but I don't think it will. Not quite. And that doesn't really matter. So we're just going to tie it off at the bottom there. And then I'm going to fan out one of these. Make sure it kind of lays pretty. Also, I'm getting lots and lots of texture out of this scarf, so it shines as much as possible. And then tying it off, and you could do it the other way around. You just got to decide where you want to have your ties. So that's kind of step one. And then I'm taking the top one and I'm opening it up just a little bit, and the same sort of thing. I just want to layer it across the top and then hide it away. And you might need to hide under because of all that feathering we did. There we go, beautiful. Okay, and now with this side, just twist until you run out and then hide. How beautiful is this fabric with all these beautiful textures? The actual scarf itself is quite textured, but also you get the texture from the design of the tichel. Now this is truly a queen's tichel, just a crown. You've got this beautiful flip through here when we tucked it away, and you can tuck it away tighter if you didn't want the flip to be quite as thick. You just pull it in there. Okay, I like it. And you've got this gorgeous twist happening here. With a tichel like this, you could also introduce an extra color. Let's say you were wearing not a white top, but say a bright red one or a pink one. You could also take a sort of thinner scarf and sash it up. Oops. And you can add a pop of color somewhere there. And you can twist it through here perhaps, adding a pop of color through there. And then weave it through everywhere here, and you'll end up with a really gorgeous two-tone or three-tone and really textured look, and that just amps up the look by a lot. Now I hear you asking, what do you do if your simchah was by day? I would say the same thing that I've been saying all along, is that whatever you would wear, whatever fabrics, textures, colors you would wear by day on your clothing, in your outfit, whatever colors you would wear in your jewelry, in your accessories, the same thing completely goes for your tichel. It's just another item of clothing, and it's just another accessory after all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this beautiful linen scarf. Let's just assume this is a spring or summer type party. I'm going to start by just making sure it's nice and even, and I'm going to take the back of it, wherever that is, and just fold it up. Just enough to cover my shaper. I don't want it too heavy along the front, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, there's just enough to cover the back of my neck there, just there at the bottom on the nape, and we're going to twist over the front and tie a knot. So as I was saying with the other looks, it's all about points of interest. So as long as you have a focal point, something a little bit extra, you're probably going to get a really fun look. I'm going to just fold this roughly in half again and flip it back. Then I'm taking this one and flipping it around here, and you get kind of this really cool vibe here at the front. This will all get fixed up in a minute, but you get this really cool vibe of like a crown and a fringe and all that sort of stuff. I'll tuck that away. I'm going to take this one, and we're just going to tuck it under. And whatever's left over, I'm just going to tuck away. Now over here, you're going to have this little fluff. Now you could be more strict with how you layer things down and all that sort of deal. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this opportunity to really accessorize. So I've got some pink pins and a white pin. I'm just going to use it to really place this little fluffy bit. And I'm going to pin it into my scrunchie and my shaper. So nothing's going to touch my skin or hurt me. I'm just going to use it to really fancy it up. Get lots of different texture out of the fabric. And I absolutely love these sort of things because you actually get a really whole major look from the back and from the front. So I'll just show you. And of course each side is different too. So for something that you're wearing with just like a summer dress, something perhaps a bit flowy, if it's a bit warmer, this is a really cool turban, really makes a statement. Of course pins are not for everyone. You could also use flowers, you could use brooches, you could use anything as long as it's good to keep things in place and something that has a bit of an element of fanciness. The other thing you could do with this look, just found this out a little, wrap this around sort of loosely like that. And then what I would do at this point is grab a little hair tie. You've got yourself a beautiful ponytail at the back, and then just bring these two together. Perhaps even try and overlap them a little, like that. What a look. And of course you can place these tails anywhere. You can have them higher, lower. You can also, from this point, if you didn't want tails hanging out, just take advantage of that hair tie, twist them over, and then just tuck them away as well. But I love the feeling of something just hanging back there. Thing that's really, really common in wedding parties, mother of the bride outfits, anything that's kind of custom made, is the element of being very matchy-matchy. So I've just got this beautiful white or off-white silk scarf that you saw before. I'm just going to show you my skirt here. So there it is. It's kind of like a patchwork thing. It's got bits of leopard through it, but it's mainly this kind of colouring. And I've also got this little sash. Now it's not an exact match, but look, it's pretty perfect. Without being the exact cut off from the skirt. Like you couldn't really tell where one stops and the other one starts. I might insert a little picture of the skirt there so you can see the full glory. And sometimes you just do have something in your collection which is a little bit similar. Now this can be worn as a scarf. It's very sheer, so I prefer to use it as a sash. And I think it came from Wish or something. It's quite an old scarf. I used to love wearing it just in my hair, just to decorate my ponytails back in the day. So I've just got to place this perfectly because it is very slippery. It's silk, as I mentioned before. And I'm just going to twist it over the front. Now this time, I'm going to tie it really off to the side. I'm just going to give it a bit of a squeeze because it's very loose. It's a bit of a tricky fabric to work with, but it's just so royal. Get that colouring. It's white, but it's cream, but it's everything. Okay. I'm going to do a second knot. Okay, and then I'm going to tie it around the back. And I've just got just enough tail to do so. I'm just going to tuck off the little bits that are sticking out now. Just like that. Reposition this thing. I do have a non-slip headband on, but this is silk, so it's a bit fiddly. But once it's in place and I'm not touching it anymore, not pulling on it, it will stay. It has done 1,000 times before, so hopefully it'll do it 1,000 times again. Now, onto my sash. So at the moment I've got a pretty nice, still very evening kind of look because, you know, you've got that double knot there, it's cute. You've got a really gorgeous, very, very expensive looking fabric, even though I think this was $10 or something, very, very inexpensive to purchase. And now I'm also going to add this element of, we'll call it surprise. Now I really want to highlight this grey bit. There's 2 of them because that's the main part that matches my skirt, not the beige necessarily. So I'm just going to feed this underneath that tail, and that allows me to put these 2 grey bits more to the front. I'm just going to twist it until they're sort of sitting where my front is, which is actually the middle. I'll tie them off once, just behind my knots. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to lift that second knot, if I can, take one of these tails, and get it inside. Okay. And then I'm going to tie a third, well, effectively what's a third knot behind that. And then I can start tucking away. And then the same thing with this side, just tuck it away. Now, just like before, you can choose to leave this guy if you wanted to, but what I'm actually going to do is fan it out as much as I can. Take the edge, if I can find it, there it is. And I'm going to tuck that as well, but underneath my sash. I'm actually going to hide it in my sash there. Now it's very difficult with this fabric, but it's very doable. And what that actually achieves is it gives that front part of the sash more height as well. Make sure everything's hiding. For something like this, it would not be a bad move at all to pin things in place. I tend to pin very often these days because I've got 2 small boys and there's absolutely no guarantee they're not going to jump on my head, quite literally, at any point in the day. So I've got a shaper there, so I can just lift this up and use it to pin the cream scarf in so it won't slip out from underneath. And I can do the same thing just on the sides there if I needed to or wanted to. I don't. I'm quite happy with how it is, but at least one pin somewhere just for my own peace of mind. You know, if something's sticking out and slipping out while you're still fiddling with it, you know, sometimes it's a good idea to pin it away as well if it's going to be an incognito pin. It's going to be obvious and it's not going to suit the actual style, like it's not going to be intentional. Don't do it. Try and avoid it. The other thing I've heard people do online is take a bobby pin, just a very thin bobby pin, and just stick it into. I don't want to do that with either of these scarves. They will run. Unfortunately, if I do that, because it's silk and it's some sort of polyester there, so I don't think it would survive. But if you have a scarf that has a very large weave to it, say like this one, who's got quite a large weave, and you think you can get something in there without damaging the pattern, without creating a run, like this one has a run in, I don't know if you can see it, but there's just a run there. That's obviously something's nicked it there, but when you have a run in the fabric, it actually ruins the pattern. So, you know, if you can avoid doing damage to your scarves, I would recommend to do that upmost and foremost. You can definitely use bright patterns. That's another way to really make a statement. And the other thing I really love, and I'll see if I have any pictures to insert, is contrasting patterns and colors. So let's say I've got this, I'm wearing this particular shirt with my outfit. What I would do is I would pair it with a mustard skirt, and then I would do a mustard leopard print scarf. So you've got that leopard print following through and you've got the mustard following through. That can be a really cool look, and it's unexpected. And when it's unexpected, it's just that extra element of, oh wow, eye-catching, and that makes it all the more dressy. I quite like the way this is looking. It's got that leopard print too, so I guess I could use that example here too. You've got that little kiss of leopard print there, and it just kind of works enough with the leopard print here. You've got the grey element, which just works enough with this grey element too. I would not be wearing this top and this skirt out. I was actually wearing a grey, just a plain grey jumper before, but it got kitted on over dinner time, first of all, and second of all, it got really warm throughout the day today, so this is much more appropriate. But the point is, you know, that even if I was wearing just a plain grey skirt and this top, this scarf would still very much do the job. Okay, lovelies, I hope that was an informative and enlightening little segment for you today. I really wanted to talk for a very long time about how to dress a tichel up, because I keep on getting asked, you know, oh, you know, what are you wearing what are you going to do with your head to that restaurant? You know, the question used to be, what are you going to do with your hair? And the answer was 99% of the time, straighten it, blow wave it, curl it. Like, it was going to be something that takes 5 minutes, wash it and wear it. So, you know, the fact that I can now have that same level of ease, I can still guarantee that I'm going to look the part, still going to look nice and dressy and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But I've got Tichels, I've got this beautiful crown to do my talking for me, is just all the more. Having said that, I don't really tone it down for casual. I don't do it with my clothing. I don't do it with my makeup. I don't do it with my hair when I used to wear hair. I don't do it with my jewelry. I am very much a person that loves to accessorize, but you can do a casual accessorizing too, like a beautiful denim shirt, for example, or just a cotton shirt, which is very dressed down, but then a beautiful statement piece of silver jewelry. So not too fancy, but you know, it's a statement piece. So you're still bold, you're still doing, you know, you're still expressing yourself, you're still wearing that style on the outside and really sort of celebrating who you are, but you're not taking away from the occasion and you're not sort of under or overdressed for the occasion. If you did like some of the things I had to show you and say today, I would love it if you just hit the like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You know, if you're coming here to watch the videos, why not come and join the journey? I love having you on this journey with me. I love seeing people come and watch the videos. I've got so much more content coming. I'm planning weeks in advance at this stage. I'm just having this surge of creativity and I'm really excited to bring you more and more different things. I might try and add some different things to the content as well, just to mix it up a little bit. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about, what you'd like to see. I'm more than just tickles and makeup, so maybe there's something else, other topics you'd like to hear on. Please do comment below. Also visit Instagram. There's so much more that you can learn about me over there. Many of the aspects there are to me are up there on my Instagram page, and all my posts usually get shared to Facebook, so you can find me there too if that's easier. Wherever you are around the world, lovelies, I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you have lots of simchot, lots of celebrations to attend and lots of reasons to dress right up and celebrate who you are. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye!